Therapy Army. Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me, Therapy Army? Let's be having you. Let's be having you. Are we live? Leave the link up. I want to join. Neo Lesso, man. Listen, get in contact on Twitter, King. Get in contact on Twitter, people. If you want to link up, get on to Twitter, people. Get on to Twitter. There we go, people. How are we doing, people? How are we? Good evening, wherever, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Manchester United won a decent game, a preseason game, and some of the fan base are getting giddy. They're getting a bit too over giddy. Still no striker. No striker. That says a lot for me. That definitely says a lot for me. But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. Big up to everybody. Yemen Man UFC. Big up. Smash a like, people. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, we'll have Mundo jumping on in a minute. Maybe our Tom. We've got a couple of things to talk about, people. We've got a couple of things to go. Listen, big up Multi Clapton. Hope you're well as well, bro. Big up, man. Neo Lesso. Big up Yemeni Man UFC. Big up everybody. Big up Sheikh Ariane. Smash a like, people. Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, kidders. Yeah, we shall not be shut down. We refuse to be silenced, people. Something dodgy going on. Too many toxic positive FC and the Murder Absolute crew are having an absolute whirl on Twitter. It's going crazy, people. It's getting crazy out here, people. I'm telling you, Murder Neil Ashton bots are everywhere. People have never exchanged anything with all of a sudden hitting me here and there. But big up. We got a full-on show for you tonight. Full-on show. We're looking back at the game, obviously. Laughing at Ty. I don't know if you saw that AFTV Ty having a meltdown. Called Manchester United Mould United. No, it's not mould. It's leaking United. Leaking Old Trafford. That's what it is. It's leaking. It's not mouldy. It's leaking, mate. That's what is going on. It's leaking. Qatar actually buying us. Mohamed Chowdhury, where do you get that news from? Mohamed Chowdhury, what have you been smoking, pal? What have you been smoking? Tell us something we don't know, Mohamed Chowdhury. Mohamed Chowdhury says Glazers are real villains. Murder doing decent. Alrighty. That's why, man. That's why he was briefing majority of January that Manchester United top priority this summer was a striker. And Man United still haven't got a striker. We're on tour at the moment, playing preseason games with no striker. Myrtle madness. No, not happening, pal. What do you think of yesterday's game? Do you think we could surprise people next season? You know what? One thing about me, I don't get too giddy of just one preseason game or two preseason games. Last season, we smashed Liverpool. We won majority of our preseason games, and then opening the start of the season, we got smashed. So at the end of the day, Liverpool then smashed us by 7. City gave us 6. So I ain't getting giddy, people. I have to see it in real time, in real competition, for me to go, okay, we made changes. But what I would say to you, Juicy Sauce, is that I like the way that we pressed. I like we hunt in packs. I like the fact that we played sometimes a bit direct. Obviously, the transition, and that's why I call it Transitionfc. We're going to be playing on a transition, and Ten Hag is going away really from his fundamentals. He's going away, and he understands he hasn't got players to play possession football. So Manchester United have to be, he said he wants them to be the pressing monsters. He wants them to be the best pressing team in the world. And he wants Manchester United to be the best transition team in the world. So it is what it is. Yeah, it's interesting how we gauge that to look at. I have to look at Manchester United identity. Yeah, Manchester United of old used to camp teams in. This is Fergie, even Fergie team. I think, by the way, all of the best teams in the world are very good at a transition, by the way. Man City are deadly on a transition. You know what I mean? The great Barcelona were deadly on the transition. So the transition, where people think, oh, you only like counter. No, if you sit back and defend all day and hit people in the break, that's counter-attacking football. Transition game, it's more, you could win the ball back in the opposition's defense. And that's called a transition. That's a turnover. So, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean, and by the way, all of the best teams can counterattack. All of the best teams that's ever played football, they can all counterattack. Just Pep Guardiola didn't invent football, people. He didn't. He didn't invent possession football as well. But the point that I want to make to people is that Manchester United played very high octane kind of like pressured football, where they kept the ball. We camped teams in. We threw the kitchen sink at them, especially at Old Trafford. That's why the Stretford and sometimes would get that ball in the net, because attack after attack. But this Manchester United team, for me, couldn't sustain. I would like it to have more possession on the last third. I want our inverted wingers, strikers, or whatever who plays up there to keep the ball more. So that's what it is. But big up. Lauren, do you think Murta's doing a great job? No wonder everybody's laughing. No, I don't think him or Nirvchan are doing anything at all. I think they're absolutely useless, honestly. He might have done good work on the in the youth team, setting up the women's team in the past. He might have done that, but no way. No fucking way. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not here for that. Big up Mundo. Big up from Uganda, man, Kampala. Big up to all my people, East African people in the house. Big up all my East African crew, man. Big up everybody, regardless where you're from, man. On this channel, we don't care where you're from. If you're from Timbuktu, we don't give a hoot. We just give a hoot if you support United. If you're a football lover, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome. Everybody. This is an inclusive channel, people. Inclusive. Everybody's welcome. Gender, orientation, ethnicity, nationality, religion. We don't give a hoot. We just give a hoot if you got football opinion, and every opinion is welcome as long as you're not abusive in the chat or you're saying anything horrible and discriminatory. There we go, people. There we go. Listen, hey, Mr. Structor, I missed the match. Listen, I need to send this actually to hopefully an Arsenal brother if he comes in. Mundo, talk to me. How are we doing? People, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. On the road to 10K, people. It's raw, it's real, and it's red on here on the Therapy Army. We don't get over too giddy, but also, yes, I like certain aspects of the way we played. But if Erik ten Hag continues to play people into the ground, come the end of the season where you're supposed to be competing for trophies, Manchester United are going to be like they were last season. We're going to absolutely limp over the line. But this time, Chelsea are not going to be as bad. Liverpool is not going to be as bad. And Spurs are not going to be as bad. So in terms of getting a squad in, that where he can then rotate is vital. I'm judging Erik ten Hag on the rotation. And that's why I want the manager effing back, because I don't want to give him any effing excuses. But Mundo, talk to me. How are you doing, first of all? How are the Rascals?
Yeah, not too bad, yeah.
London Sunshine, apparently. London Sunshine. Thank you for rubbing it in, as they say, up here in Mank. Thank you for, twisting the knife in. All day it's rained. It was raining from 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. It's still raining.
Don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, bro. Down here it's been 24 degrees. Yeah, I've been in the garden with my top off. It's been nice.
Mundo showing his boobies out to everyone, people. Getting his booby tan day. That's what he's doing, getting his boobies out. Mundo, talk to me. Are you part of the Giddy FC? Are you getting giddy about what you saw yesterday? Did you watch the game?
I did. No, listen, there were some good performances from, obviously, Kobbie Mainoo. Everyone's raving about him. I thought he was very mature. But there's still elements. It's pre-season. I don't want to judge people too early, but there's still elements of Anthony and Bruno wasting possession. There was a few times before he scored in the first half that Bruno just gave the ball away. It's like just take the extra touch, take the extra second. You don't have to rush the pass. So, but that's just me just nitpicking. Overall, I think we played quite well. I like the fact that Sancho's looking sharp. He's looking like he's getting leaner and fitter. But I don't want to get giddy because, him, Martial and Rashford, last preseason were on fire. and then Sancho and Martial during the season just disappeared. So, it was a good barometer to measure where we're at, and we're definitely doing much better. And the thing about the squad is what we can be. Depth is a problem. That's going to be a problem, absolutely. But what Erik ten Hag has done with a few signings and shifting a few players out is he's definitely improved the quality. So that's a big thing, because I think Mainoo is going to have a similar season to Garnacho last season, which is when you need to bring a midfielder on, rather than Fred and McTominay, we're now bringing on Mainoo, Eriksen, potentially Amrabat if we sign him. And I think that's a massive difference. Now we've got better quality on the bench. So you're right about Ten Hag. He's got no excuses now not to rotate. Before, you'd be like, I can kind of see why he doesn't want to make changes, because it means you take up Casemiro, you've got to bring on Fred or McTominay. Now, with the emergence of Mainoo, if we get Amrabat over the line, all of a sudden, there's quality in the depth, because it's not just about having bums on seat. We've got 30 plus players in the squad. It's not about numbers, it's about quality. And what he's doing nicely is he's slowly getting out all the deadwood. And now we're starting to see that Eriksen, who shouldn't be in the starting 11, but for me, I think he's good enough to come on for like 30 minutes in a game when you want to control the game. That's his place in the squad. We can now do that because we've got better quality in the first 11. So, but there's still gaping holes. Number 9, we absolutely need a striker. That is priority number 1. Then we need backup to Casemiro, and we need a centre half. If we get those 3 players in, we can go deep in competitions, I think.
Yeah, man. Big up Aaron Pondy as well. Listen, Mundo, I said we needed 5 players to go into that first team, and then make some of the people who are in the first team now part of the subs bench, and then get rid of the people that he doesn't rate out of the squad. But honestly, to me, the biggest thing is going to be is that how he rotates, because I'm telling you now, we might have looked like the energy was good yesterday. Looks like we are maybe a week ahead of Arsenal in terms of the tempo. Did you feel that watching that game, Mundo? I felt as though like we were a bit more fit, a bit more quicker, stronger. You know what I mean? And maybe wanted it more. Like he said, the manager, that we don't play friendlies. But yeah.
But you know what it is? It's personalities in the team, like Martinez, that dictate how we play. Because he was going into tackles like we were playing a cup final. That's what we needed back in May. Yeah. When you've got guys like him showing intensity, it raises the rest of the players around him. That's why it's so vital. That's why, but we need more guys like him, more guys with his intensity. And in fairness to Mason Mount, he plays with a bit of intensity as well. And I thought when he was getting in those little pockets and half turns and stuff, he was looking quite dangerous. And he played. It was a bit weird where he played, because he kind of played a little bit deeper, didn't he, than Bruno. So I think as long as you got guys like Martinez, think about Onana as well coming into the team. Is people can critique him in terms of his goalkeeping ability. I think he's a steady goalkeeper. Obviously, the strongest part of his game is the ball at his feet. But the thing that he brings as well, which De Gea didn't bring, is that intensity, that character, that personality. Now we've got a strong personality in goal. You've got Martinez, you've got Casemiro. The more of those characters you get in the team, the better. And because they dictate how you play. They dictate how he play. Amrabat is the same. You know, he plays with high level of intensity. You get him in the team. So we need more guys like that. And that Højlund kid, although he's not the finished article by any stretch, he brings that intensity to the pitch. That's the type of player the manager wants. And Ralph, for all his faults, people went in on him when he was the manager.
I was a supporter of Ralph because Ralph is the only person in Manchester United I've had in my lifetime that told the truth about the fucking football club.
He should never be in the manager in the first place. He's a deal.
He should never. Yeah, they interviewed 4 different people, and he had the least time in a decade. He had maybe 90-something games or 80-something games, and that's when he was filling in for Schalke.
Exactly. But the thing that he did identify is the physicality of the team, and Ten Hag's gone about putting that right straight away. And part of the issues last season, you're right about squad rotation, but also the makeup and character of the team. We didn't have enough guys willing to run through brick walls. And you can't afford to carry players. There was players last season, I don't want to dig people out, but Sancho, Rashford in certain games, Bruno in certain games even, intensity dropped off, throwing the hands up in the air, complaining. It's like, no, you need to just get stuck in. It doesn't matter how much quality you've got to outwork the opposition. And what we saw yesterday against Arsenal, which is why I think Arteta in his press conference was pissed off, was that Man United approached that game with more intensity. But we need to see that week in, week out. Every single game, they need to be on it.
Yeah, man. Listen, 100% Mundo. I'm looking for this Arsenal fan, yeah? Maybe, who's the Arsenal fan is always coming on here? He gives a super chat. He got in touch with me on Twitter, and I'm trying to find him because I want to send him the link. And he said because he wanted to talk about it, he lives in New York. If anybody knows the Arsenal brother, give me his name so I'll try to find him. I'm just trying to look through my messages on Twitter to try to find him because we exchange messages, and I'm trying to find him. But big up Raymond Pierce. I had a TV, social media. You don't see the massive. Don't worry, always months, years of happening. Any people having a chat? There we go. Ten Hag needs to adapt and utilize the squad rotation. Otherwise, it'll be the same situation next year. 100%, bro. 100%. Nuruddin and Tom breaking news of the owner Spurs told Lever to sell Kane this summer if he doesn't sign the contract. Okay, that's how it is. All right. Well, Bayern Munich are doing what they're doing. I don't know who this person is. Let me get them on. Hello, who's there?
I'll give you one guess.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Ali Boumbaye.
Oli Boumbaye, is that you? Oh my God.
That's me.
Oh my God.
Formerly Oli Boumbaye, moving forward now into the future, the Ten Hag future as Red Leb.
What does that mean? What does Red Leb mean?
It just means what it means, man.
Right, meet Red Leb Therapy Army, formerly of Boumbaye. Boumbaye Ali, it is what it is. Talk to me. Did you watch that game? Did you watch a bit of the first half? The first half we played with intensity. We pressed well. I think we're a bit further ahead from in terms of like sharpness. So I don't read too much into it, but talk to me.
Preseason is preseason, but still you want to get an idea of what's happening. Obviously, when you go in against Arsenal. I watched the second half. I haven't seen anything else. I know we're keeping clean sheets. We're looking good. I was most impressed with the shape of the team second half. I never felt at all in any danger, and they had a decent team out. They changed up the squad. You can see they're a tidy outfit, Arsenal, and I think they're going to be very strong this season. They've got some quality, they've got some depth, but we just got men behind the ball. I like the way we hunted in fours, the way we pressed them. It was a low press, but it was really good. Everything about the way that we just shut them out. And then when we did transition, It was really good. Somehow it's usually when United transition, if you're that deep, you think, how do you, you can't get many men forward, but we seem to get up there in a few numbers. And, Dalot makes the right pass, should be 3. So I was impressed. I liked what I saw, man. I thought Victor Lindelof was really good. That's the second half only, obviously, I watched. I thought it was brilliant. And it's good. It's good what's happening. I heard Kobbie Mainoo was playing really well. But Ahmad was tragic, man. That wasn't good. But I like what I'm seeing. Just that second half. We're gonna watch against Madrid and see what United offer up. But yeah, it looks good, man. Muted.
Listen, I talked about Kobbie Mainoo. We've done shows on this channel about Kobbie Mainoo, but I got scared. I got superstitious because I did exactly the same about Greenwood, and then look what happened to him. So I'm trying to just temper the expectations. But listen, I know his dad, Mikey. He's an absolutely. He's mature beyond these years. That's what he is. He's mature beyond these years. Let me just have a look at this breaking news from Harry Kane. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, Kobbie. Listen, he's only 18, isn't he? He's only 18, and he's fabulous footballer. But like I said, I get worried, and I start thinking, I don't want to put the kiss of death on this kid, man. Because I went on a lot about Greenwood being a generational talent, and he is. But still, yeah.
Do you know, that's the biggest tragedy I've ever known at Man United, Mason Greenwood. I've not known a worse tragedy than that. Even it's worse than Ravel Morrison for me. I think if Mason Greenwood was to start for Man United, he's the best player in the squad. The Mason Greenwood that left us, I think he's better than Rashford. He's miles better than Anthony. He's better than Ahmad. He's miles ahead of Sancho and Martial. I don't think anybody can touch him. I really think he's that good. When he left us, I was saying to the boys, he's one of the best players in the Premier League, in my opinion. If he was to come back, that problems are solved. But I don't think. I don't know. Just leave that alone.
Yeah. Innocent. I doubt it's happening. But the biggest things that Manchester United are taking their time. That's the thing that it's like, why? This is what I'm saying to everything Manchester United do, because we're not run like a fucking football club. Nobody wants to make a decision. Make the decision. Let the kid go. Let him go and play his football.
How is Mendy back playing? Right, when the guy's been through 2 trials. Right, the guy's been through 2 trials, and City made a decision on him. No, I know his contract ran out anyway, right? But City had already made a decision on him. He's now back. He's now signed to a new club. They need to make a decision. You can't drag this out. I don't know what they're talking about investigation, because I don't know how an internal club investigation takes longer than a flipping criminal investigation. That's just nonsense.
I think what it is, I keep reading that obviously when things like this happen, it's difficult because everybody starts stepping away from you. Your teammates step away from you. The clubs takes a step back from you. Sponsors take a step back from you. There's a lot at stake. But now that he's been innocent and according to the law, for whatever reasons, I don't want to go into that, he's back with the girl, she's pregnant. That sort of aftermath seems to have settled down things, and a lot of the players are saying, you know what, yeah, fine, but there will be some resistance within the club. So it's not an easy decision, I don't think. If they want to keep him, on the basis that, okay, he has been cleared, whether I think he's still guilty or not, he has been cleared, but they might have to send him out on loan, just ease it in a little bit if it's going to happen. Or Eric's come out and said he's not averse, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, I don't want to put words in Eric's mouth, but from what I have read, he's not completely averse to the idea of Mason Greenwood coming back if it can be done. So I think this one is a bit fragile and will take some serious thought about where to go, because I don't think the club would just want to cast him off like that.
Mm.
I think there still is a possibility that we will see Mason Greenwood play for United again. Whether it's this year, I don't know. Whether it's next year, I'd say that's more likely.
Nah, I think his time is done. If you're asking me personally, I think his
Yeah,
time is done
it
out here.
polarizes people. This.
Yeah, I think his time is done out here. But anyway, we move on. Earth, did you watch that game yesterday? Talk to me.
I watched most. I didn't watch most of the second half. I watched most of the first half though. I got enough to get, and then I went back and watched the highlights. I mean, look, I understand United fans are getting a bit giddy excited because it was against Arsenal. It was a big crowd, 80,000. I get it. I didn't really see anything to make me go, "Oh wow!" I just thought we were a bit fitter than they were, a bit sharper, a bit quicker to the first ball, etc., which was good to see. I felt we're like they looked a bit slower compared to us in general match fitness, getting up to match fitness. That's what I saw. I think it was good for confidence. It was good to see that we can win because all these they might be friendlies, but they all build confidence. And everything in sport, most things, they're all confidence based. So it was good to see that. I was like, I did see some old things. I saw that chance Anthony had where he just fluffed it. And we look decent considering it's just part of the season, but it's only a friendly. It didn't really mean that much. It meant a bit more than a friendly does, but it still was a friendly. So I'm not getting that excited. But I always the glaring thing I saw from the game myself was both teams need a striker. Both teams badly need a striker. So I don't know what they're going to do to address that. I don't know what we're going to do to address that. I hope we get someone. I hope we get two players, but I don't know. I mean, looking at us again, I still think we're a little bit off being a very, very good team. Because when I watch us move the ball, I see the transitions. I never feel we're fully in control of the last part to open up the team or to get that pass together and bang. It just feels like we're just not quite there. The calmness and composure when making that final pass to create the opening is just not there in the team. So that's why I'm not that excited. I was watching a little bit the highlights of the first half again earlier today, just to have a quick look again. And like I said, it was the occasion more than anything else. I mean, I've listened to a few people talk about it as well. I didn't really get anything that major from it. I'm you know me, I never get that excited anyway. But very, very good confidence. Good to see other players. Obviously, a lot of people talk about Kobe Mainoo and things like that, which I think is a winner. It's a win for us. But I still think we're going to need a couple more players to get this together. And we need a couple of leaders as well, a couple more. When I say leaders, I mean people who will dominate the game on the pitch. And we haven't really got them, we haven't really got them. We haven't got enough world-class players yet. I hope we get a couple more players. I hope we get another midfielder. Like I said, we desperately need a striker. It's going to be interesting seeing. We have either people like Sancho. They have to go to the next level. They can't be passengers anymore. They've got to show it. So I'm glad he got that goal. I'm glad he did. But this year to me is going to make or break for people like him. And the difficulty we got is like, where does he play then? If you get a striker, where do you put Sancho? Where do you put Anthony? Where do you put Garnacho? How's it all going to work? So, this is the second year, and what Arteta was he 4 years into Arsenal now? Is he 4 years? Yeah. So so I know we want everything to happen quick, but I just can't see it happening quick. And obviously, the dirty cloud or the grey cloud over the club is these fuckwits who run the club, from the owners to those jokes who are meant to be football directors. They're clueless, and then you got the worst owners. So I always think when you discuss Man United, you can never discuss freely because you've got this crazy shit like this pressure over your head, which is pushing everything down, and you're trying to make rational sort of assertions about Man United, but it's very hard to make rational assertions when you've got a crazy club like this being run in the most crazy way, and trying to ask this team manager to put a team together and really make it run very well when you've got this craziness all around you. And sadly, we're just still in this phase. But credit to the Ten Hag for managing to survive the last season, and let's hope we can survive this season as well. Let's hope we can make improvements and grow under all this massive pressure and this craziness that we all have to deal with as Man United fans. You're muted, Nuruddin.
Yeah, big up. No, 100%. I think, listen, to me, the biggest thing is that yet again, Manchester United go on tour and only one player is playing the third game. You know what I mean? Third players playing the third game. Talk to me, Tom. What did you think of the game you watched yesterday?
I thought it were a good game. To be honest, it obviously it didn't probably live up to a lot of people's expectations. You would have probably thought there would have been maybe a few more clear-cut chances, and really we did get, I guess, a brazener look from the two chances that we did get from the Ramsdale incident, and obviously with Gabriel as well. But listen, you've got to capitalise on moments like that, and we don't do it enough. We don't punish teams enough, and love it or hate it with the way that it looked anyway. From what I saw from the game was, I thought the way we started the game was straight from the off, and it felt like we were starting it similar to how we would a Premier League game, where the intensity is there, you can see the work rate of the players is there, but also you can see a small scoop of what Erik ten Hag's showing and trying to get these players to group together and enact. I mean, the link-up play for one of the chances of the goal, you had Mount involved. I think we won the ball high up with Wan-Bissaka. The link-up play from the wide players as well, when we were creating some of the chances that we did yesterday. And look, we had the fortune of the goal with Fernandes, and you could say it for what it is. The Sancho goal, I mean, no keeper in the world's picking that out of the back of the net, apart from going to collect it. So, look, I think from performance-wise, it was very good from us. I think there was some good snippets of play. I know with what Ten Hag said about transitional football, that was some good transitional football that we saw in the first half. And we took it to Arsenal. And look, Arsenal, really, they played their bestest 11 and they didn't really lay a glove on us. I didn't really think. I thought Tom Heaton had a pretty quiet day, if I'm being really fair. The only real chance that I think worried him maybe would have been the Martinelli one, which blew over the bar. But aside from that, I think he had a pretty decent game. And, you know, obviously a good mention for some of the young lads as well. Ahmad, you know, all best with...
They're a disgrace.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. With Ahmad, all the best with, you know, recovery and everything, and whatever has obviously gone on there. Hopefully he gets the right treatment and scans and that, and can come back and hopefully play a couple more minutes and a couple more games on the tour. Hopefully, we pray. Kobe Mainoo, I mean, listen, we said it before about, you know, youngsters and when we throw them in the deep end. The thing I like about Erik ten Hag is if you're not ready as a young player, he doesn't trust you and put you into the firing line. That's the one thing I like about Ten Hag. He didn't do it with Garnacho. Everybody last season was screaming out for Garnacho to get so many more minutes. But he's blooded him into the team. And so far, really, it has worked where he's been that impact substitution. Kobe Mainoo, I think, is a little bit of a difference based upon that. I don't think Ten Hag knows what position he wants to use him for, because I think he can play 8, I think he can play 10, I think he can play anywhere really in the midfield, but it just depends on where you want to try and fit him in for the future. And if I'm being honest, 6 would be perfect because you have an understudy for Casemiro already at the club, so it could save you millions in the market getting a new holding midfielder. But also, again, it gives him that versatility option. And I look at it from my perspective. I'd rather have Kobe Mainoo coming off the bench for us than have Scott McTominay or Fred, because I think he can give more to the team.
No, 100%.
I could be wrong. I think he had. I think he got 2. I could be wrong. I think he got 2 assists yesterday on both the goals. So
yeah, it's absolutely clear. But for me, I don't want to throw in young players into a dysfunctional team and a dysfunctional football club.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
because when he has a bad game, he has a bad game, just like Garnacho, he'll be trending on Twitter, and then that's what happens. You know, we saw it with other youth players at Manchester United. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
He's taking his chance, though.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the kid, he's got composure, physicality. He's got it all. Listen, I've been trying not to talk about him too much because I see how much I talked about and raved about Greenwood, and look what happened to him. So I'm getting superstitious. But there's videos of me getting excited about the Kobe man. I coined him the Stockport Incy. That's what I called him. That's what I called him. The Stockport Incy, mate. I Stockport Incy. But anyway, big up to everybody. Big up to my brother. Let's So Football TV. Big up out all the way in Southern Africa. Big up to all my South African siblings. It's all love. There's already 150 of you in here. Smash that effing like on the video. You absolute glazer lovers. Hey, Murta, madness crew. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. I just wanted to show you this because obviously you know what Arsenal fans are like. They get absolutely gassed, right? Even over a absolute preseason. So they've set it all up, and then they were all hyped up. And Manchester United did what they did. We physically bullied them, and we got the goals. And big up Heaton, by the way. Big up Tom Heaton. He made 2 fantastic saves to keep us in the game. But I just wanted to go to this clip and just make people laugh in it. You know what I mean? And just see what a meltdown sounds like.
As usual, there's nothing new. Manchester United are a disgrace. And I'm not even trolling. They're a disgrace. The thing about it is, I'm just wondering now. We have seen now what's going to happen. We've seen now that there's going to be no protection for us because this is pre-season. So that means I hope we're looking at it because I'm sure Mikel and the staff are, because this is what we have to expect at Old Trafford and at Emirates. This is where I expect because this is a pre-season game. Fair enough, but the challenges that they were making weren't pre-season challenges. And one thing I will say without going on right now,
I'm just going to stop there. Did somebody tell Ty, one of our young promising wingers, left on crutches, left the stadium on crutches? The tackle that Martinez did, it was like a coming together. He got sandwiched between 2 players. It was just a normal tackle. Like at the end of the day, who's Timber injured Ahmad, and Ahmad's Manchester United career could be ruined because this was his preseason. So we're gonna come on to it. But can nobody tell him that? Honestly, the victim mentality of some of the Arsenal fans when they lose football games is unbelievable.
I'm wondering now, is it wise for us to play Premiership rivals in pre-season games? As usual, there's nothing new. Manchester United are a disgrace. One thing I will say without going on rant is, I'm wondering now, is it wise for us to play Premiership rivals in pre-season games? As usual, there's nothing new. Manchester
It's absolutely hilarious. Talk to me. Talk to me, brother. Hold tight, Ty, by the way. I like Ty, you know why? He literally deludedly backs his football club. And I can appreciate fans like that. There's levels, and there is levels of Ty. So I big up and respect him for that. So hold tight, Ty. But it's just Manchester United rattle you regardless wherever you are. They got rattled when he's even considering now that Manchester United be playing any other teams abroad. But go ahead, Lesso. Tom, come back if you're about, lad.
Yeah, you know what time, man. I mean, for many years, man, he's been entertaining us, with these views with regards to Arsenal. But I do respect that he never shies away, from his views, and the fact that he never changes. He stays consistent on the delusion. So it's funny enough that he left out the part where, like I say, Ahmad left with stretches, after the tackle from Timber, and he never actually included that in any of his analysis. So, he's an out and out Arsenal fan. So, it is what it is, man. The delusion lives deep within the fan base at the moment. The Arsenal fans were getting giddy about this match, before I remember. Even here in South Africa, it's the same thing, you go on social media and everything. They were so giddy. They were telling us that they're gonna thrash us 5-0, 6-0, in this preseason. Now, because we won, now they're reverting back to factory settings and saying this is preseason. This is only preseason. So I mean it's funny, but this is just banter, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we know as Man United fans, it is preseason. But obviously we know we like to take a dig or two at the Arsenal fans, and there's many of them here in Africa. Don't make no mistake about that. There's a lot of them here in Africa. So yeah, I mean, AFTV is very entertaining, especially with Ty. Ty is one of those special characters, and yeah, he's football heritage at this point. But yeah, we enjoying the laughs at the moment, and we love the entertainment, and it makes good for football, and it makes it more enjoyable instead of us being serious all the time about it, so yeah.
Yeah, big up, man, big up. The brother's telling me not to get carried away, bro. This is Giddy Monitor. This is what we do. I don't know if you heard, I only show that to show the meltdown of a pre-season, what Arsenal fans were having. I'm not getting giddy about yesterday, because at the end of the day, we got whacked last season, 7 at Liverpool, 6 at the top 10 teams away from home. We got slapped. And Manchester United have still not fucking improved that fucking midfield. They're still not improved that midfield. The top 10 teams in the Premier League, we got absolute battered last season. So trust me, I ain't getting fucking giddy. I'm the one at Music TV. I don't know what channel you see your first time coming on this channel, but you're giving that the wrong advice to the wrong person. This is Giddy Watch, mate. Giddy Watch it. That's what we do on this channel. Lester, what did you think about the game? Did you watch the whole game? What time was it in South Africa? What time were you guys watching the game?
At our time, it was like 10 o'clock. It started at around 10 o'clock.
Same time, to be fair. Same UK time.
Yeah, it's almost similar UK time. Yeah. So, no, the game was. I mean, like, I don't really take too much into consideration in terms of the preseason games that I look at it fairly as a preparation, going into a season, rather than something that I would say will determine our season. It's more for building fitnesses, and to take a look at different formations and then different set of plays from and the weakness and then more or less the strengths of the team. The manager gets to see what he can keep, what he can work with, and what he needs to let go of. That's what preseason is used for. So we don't get giddy. I know you don't get giddy. I know you're the hardest person to actually convince to be on the same level of I would say positivity as opposed to Saeed, but I'm also of the same. I look at it for what it is. We still have a lot of gaping holes in the team. Don't let the preseason performances deter you away from that. We still have a lot to address within the team and
100%.
Internally and above as well.
No, 100%.
So
100%. Listen, the only news I'm ever getting giddy about is when the Glazers go, mate. You ain't seen me get giddy about anything else until those vultures leave. But big up to everybody. Big up to the panel. Listen, we'll go to our next topic. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, people. The brother that asked to come on, I've sent him the thing. Did you notice anything in the tactics in terms of the way that we were playing, Mundo? In terms of, like, obviously we've got more energy, we're more pressing in the pack. To be fair, you already talked about it. You said about Mason Mount. What did you think about Mason Mount? I mean, people are already clipping him up because he misplaced the pass to Garnacho, and I'm like, come on, it's flipping preseason, people. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think you mentioned Tom Heaton. I thought that his distribution was pretty good yesterday, and I think that's instructions from Ten Hag. So I'm interested to see Onana, obviously, and what impact he has on the team. But the thing is that having Onana in the team and guys like Mason Mount means that we can play more on the front foot. So I expect, hopefully in the pre-season, we'll see more of that. And the thing is as well is Wan-Bissaka as well. Like, for the first time, when I look at our defence, I actually trust our defenders one-on-one. You know, for the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, we've had to babysit our defenders. They've just not been good enough individually. But now, I feel like we're a team that can take more risks. So even though this season, you know, we went away, we got hammered at Liverpool and other places, I feel now the manager will trust the team a little bit more because we've got better individuals. And teams have to worry about us because as soon as United push up, which they will do now, they'll be able to play a higher line, you've got Onana sweeping behind. You know, teams are going to be worried about guys like Rashford and Bruno and other players getting in behind. So we can now start to give teams other things to think about because last season, one of my biggest frustrations was we kind of reverted a little bit, especially in the latter stages of the season, to Ollie ball. And I wasn't happy about that. Yeah. And I think a lot of it was down to fatigue, the goalkeeper's distribution. So just those minor changes, I think, the keeper especially, we hopefully this season shall see a better version of Manchester United. So I'm being positive about that. I'm not going to judge off this game yesterday because Arsenal weren't really at the races. But what I will say is that we had intensity. And whether we bring that into the season, that's the big question mark. That's what we need from our team. We need intensity because if we match other teams' intensity, we do have the quality. We definitely have the quality. And the only other thing I will say is decision making as well. In particular, and I don't dig people out, but Anthony's got to do better. We need to see a big season from this guy. And yesterday, there were still elements of making the wrong decision. So he needs to sharpen up because Sancho's looking okay. I don't want to say we need to rely on Sancho because we know what happened last season, but his best position is on the right. So I think we keep guys like Sancho. We need competition in the squad. I don't think anyone's place should be guaranteed in the team. We need more players, obviously. People are saying there's big holes. For me, I think if we sign 3 players, we've got to be realistic. We're not going to get 5 players through the door with this ownership. We're not. We've got 2 already. We'll be lucky if we get 3 more. And if we do get 3 more, we need to get a centre forward, we need a midfielder, we need a defender. And if we get those 3 players through the door, we'll just see where the season takes us. I think it'll be better than last season. I honestly do. I think, for me, the goalkeeper upgrade is massive. That is a big, big upgrade. That is now going to allow us to play out from the back. And the reasons why we conceded 7 and 6 and so on and so forth is because we invited pressure. We couldn't get out. We invited pressure, and then people started to panic. Gaps started to appear in the team, and we just capitulated. But now we can play with a bit more confidence, I think, knowing that we've got a better goalkeeper. But if we don't sign a centre forward, if we don't get another central midfielder, we will be in serious trouble. We need 3 players minimum.
The midfield player is crucial. It's absolutely crucial. And the idea that some of the United fans think that putting it all on the shoulders of a young player like Mainoo, I'm just bewildered. Yeah, he needs to have other pros who are playing season in, season out. And then you bring him in. You don't rely on him. You bring him in. You take him out. You bring him in. That's what you need to do. You have to bed them in slowly. That's what Fergie used to do it. And Fergie was challenging for league titles and winning trophies and going to multiple European Champions League finals, and he was bedding youngsters in that way. That to me I find that really ridiculous. Yeah, I get giddy as well. I get excited sometimes, think, oh yeah, throw the youngsters in. No, some of them are not ready. Some of them are not ready. And you could ruin people's careers if you throw them in. If you don't manage their breakout season, you could ruin them. It's happened before where you get overplayed. Look what happened to Ilanga. What happened to Elanga? Elanga was a young, promising talent. What happened? Ralph Ranić came in. He was the only one that was listening to him. Nobody else was listening. And what did he do? Play him to death. He didn't take him out.
Nah, he was never the guy. He was never the guy, unfortunately.
No, it's not about being the guy, Mundo. It's not about being the guy. It's that he was overplayed. In that last 6 months of that season, he was overplayed because already everybody threw the dummy out the pram, all these prima donna footballers, because they're like, oh, another guy. Oh, this guy's not even a permanent manager, so why should we listen to him? That's what happened. And then he was like, okay, this kid is listening to me. This kid looks enthusiastic in training. And he kept playing him and playing him. But what should have been happening was that coming in for 2 games, go out for the next 5, come back again, here and there, come on as a sub, not be starting game after game. I'm not going to say this, he's not the guy, because I refuse to write young players off. I refuse to do that. Too many managers and too many clubs have done that before and wrote players off. But it's about how you manage them, especially at a tender age of 18. So this idea, we don't need, all of a sudden, some of the fan base are like, we don't need, no. And Manchester United...
No, we do. Can Mainoo, because the thing is, right, is that Mainoo can come in and play alongside a Casemiro, or, you know, if we're talking about big games, not just talking about pre-season, Mainoo comes in, you know, and plays instead of Mount or Bruno or something. He's not going to replace Casemiro. So we need a Casemiro understudy. That any fan who thinks that Mainoo is a Casemiro understudy needs to get their head checked. We need a guaranteed quality, experienced guy to understudy for Casemiro. Or Mainoo plays in the odd game. He can come in and, as Tom was saying, his versatility means he can play the 6, the 8, or even the 10 if we need him to. But anyone expecting him to come in and be an understudy for Casemiro, they need to just get their head checked, because we need a Casemiro understudy. That is critical. And number 9 and a Casemiro understudy is the minimum that we need. And a defender, if we're lucky, to back up our centre halves, because we can't have Maguire. Shaw can obviously play as an understudy, but then we struggle at left back because I don't think Malacia can play. You know, he can play a few games here and there, but not if someone gets injured for 10 games, you can't have Malacia as left back for 10 games, in my opinion, currently. So Shaw has to play there. So we need a centre half as well, but we need that understudy central midfielder for Casemiro. That is absolutely critical. I think Amrabat is the man. He's affordable. He's experienced. He's got all the attributes that the manager wants. We just need to go out and get him.
Yeah, big up, Mundo. Bumbaye, what do Manchester United need? What do we need to compete? I'm talking about to compete to compete next season and to have a squad that's worth competing for all of in the Champions League, maybe getting into the quarters. When was the last time we were in the quarters? Almost 10 fucking years ago. David Moyes, Bayern Munich, that wonder strike, Evera. I'll never forget that. What a goal that was.
I think we ideal situation. I'm not gonna go down that line. If we get a striker, I'll go into the season with that. We've got, and if Maguire does stay, then Maguire does stay. You have a third choice centre back there. You got Lindelof that's doing really well. You got 2 ahead of him that are very strong. You got Shaw that can play there. You got Malacia. You got 2 guys on the right that are doing really well. Not too worried there. You got a goalkeeper that I'm interested to see how he changes the dynamic. And in midfield, you got 8 midfielders at the moment, and you've added one that gives us really good energy, good intensity. He nicks the ball. You know, he's an all-round 8. I'm a big fan of Mason Mount. Ten Hag faced Mason Mount when he was at Vitesse and he scored the winner against Ajax, and he tried to sign him then. So he's always liked this player, and he did try and get him, but Chelsea said no. He's got a future with us. So he's got his man, but we need a striker. You get a striker. In addition to that, you're hoping that the players that have not had the greatest of seasons also come to fruition this year. That will really help us along. And if we do that, just a striker, that's all that comes, then I'll take that. I'll go into the season with that. Because it's difficult to find an understudy to a Casemiro. Casemiro will play the majority of the games. Amrabat is a good player. You take him, but he's not going to be here to play as an understudy to anybody who wants to start. I'd go to Liverpool if I was him, and I'd start instead of Fabinho every week. I don't think a player like that is somebody that will come and say, yeah, I'll play second fiddle to Casemiro when he needs the rest or when he's injured. I don't think that's realistic. And if you deploy both of those, then you take away from the attacking prowess. They're more defensive, combative. And Casemiro's much better in terms of passing and going forward than Amrabat. So I think a striker, I don't know who it's going to be. It doesn't look like it's going to be Harry Kane. It looks more like, at the moment, that is, obviously this can change. Højlund and Muani are something between Firmino and an out-and-out striker. So there looks to be, Ten Hag's idea is, somebody that is young, that he can develop, that can get better and improve in Ten Hag's image, in line with what Ten Hag wants, which seems like a bit more interplay amongst the top guys, the three guys that will be across our line. So we get that. We're not winning the league. I think obviously it's up to City what happens at the moment, the way things are going. And then I really like Arsenal. I think the experience they gained from going all the way to the wire and the addition of Timber, Rice, Havertz really puts them in good stead. There's some quality and depth now, and I think they're really strong. I think they're better than us at this moment in time. And then you have to see what Pochettino's Chelsea do. You have to look at Tottenham. They've got a very interesting manager, very, very interesting manager. I know he's an Aussie, and that's not synonymous with, anything.
No, he's a very good coach. He's a very, very good coach.
Very good coach. So you have to see what they do. They've got a good side.
And
if
now
Kane goes, obviously,
they've got a number 10.
In Maddison, correct. But if you lose Kane, you have to replace Kane. So the 100 million, 80 million you get, you have to find that replacement. So, Kane is a massive part of Tottenham's success. Even this season, he's been excellent, in spite of how bad they've been. You've got Newcastle to contend with. They're a very serious team. They're not, they are building a team with a work ethic. It's not a Galacticos over there. It's a proper team that they're building. So it's another top 4 job for us this year. But what I'm looking for is a real improvement in consistency. We still have to get that stuff right at the top. We are really good at keeping teams out. That's fine. I'm not worried anymore about that. It's the goals. So we need a striker, and we need to be making the right decisions in the final third and being.
We don't
clinical.
score enough goals. We
don't score enough goals.
We don't hold possession in the last third.
I think we create enough to at least take one goal, because we're a very different proposition when we're 1-0 up. Everything changes. You play against Man United and we're 1-0 up, it's trouble for you. You saw it in games this season. Against Arsenal, you saw it perfectly. And against Liverpool, we're fine. We can keep you out. We can ride the storm out now. We've not got a soft underbelly with the defenders there and Casemiro there. It's a lot better. Yeah. But you have to get that goal and take that chance. When you do and they come onto us, good luck. We're a different proposition. So I'm looking for an improvement in the football and consistency. If we can get that, I'll be pretty happy. Again, looking at about 3rd in that top 4, good run in the Champions League, maybe a trophy. I think that's the season, but it's about what do we look like every week.
Yeah. Big up. The club's coming out breathing the likes of Tucker and Simon Stone that Sancho is for sale. Very interesting, isn't it?
I saw that before, but I didn't know what to make of it, Nuruddin. I didn't know. Can I just go back a little bit?
That's coming from the top, by the way. That's coming from the literally, because those journalists are not journalists like who just write for. So they literally get briefed by the club. And by the way, big up to Jarvis somewhere in the US. He wasn't at the game yesterday. He's somewhere in the US with his family on holiday.
Is he still there?
Big up Jarvis. No, he wasn't at the game. He didn't go to the game. He's somewhere. I think he's got family in the US.
In a different part of America, you mean?
Yeah. This is like a continent. It's massive. The US is massive. Yeah. So big up to Jarvis. And love and light. I hope you're having a great time with the family and taking a break from Manchester United. But big up to you. This is on the Harry Kane, actually. Harry Kane, Ten Hag's dream target, although it remains to be seen. Man United could be tempted to formalise interest for Kane. Apparently, the owner of Spurs has said to Levy, the CEO of Spurs, that he's either got to get him on a long-term contract, Kane, or he's got to get him moved on. So it is what it is. But go ahead, Ev.
No, I just want to come back to what the boys are saying about United next season. I think we've got a couple of major problems, and there's still a major problem last year. It's like, I know I said it before, we need a striker, but I don't see creation of chances in this team. I don't see a team that makes chance after chance after chance. And, you know, the fact that there wasn't a striker there to do it. I see two problems. I see chance creation, and then I see a fact that a striker's not there to take the chances. I see, because like I said, Anthony's massively inconsistent. Sancho's massively inconsistent. Garnacho's still young. So we got two problems there, not just the one. People keep saying, oh, we need a striker. It's more than that, I think. I think we need two strikers, and we need that creative outlet, that pass, whatever it's going to come from the, you know, the wingers, etc. And I haven't seen it yet. I didn't see it yesterday either, you know. So, you know, you can talk about the midfield and having, you know, cover for Casemiro and stuff like that. This is what I'm saying. We're still a team very, very early in its transition from Ollie. We're still very early in that. I know everyone's moving ahead like we want to challenge it and that, but reality is, like I said, you know, we are behind. We're not on. You know, we're going. We can only go as quickly as we can go. In reality of the football, and that's where people have just got to rein the high hopes a little bit, and you got to rein in a little bit and understand that he can't do miracles yet because he just doesn't have the team. He hasn't got the squad. He hasn't got everything happening in my view. Just watching Man United, I just don't think we're there yet. We're doing better than we could be considering the conditions of running the club. But when you watch Man United, you know, with magnifying glass on, we're not there yet. We're just doing all right because hopefully we'll look a bit fitter this year. We won't lose 7-0. We'll tighten up all that stuff. We'll be a competitive team, but we're still quite a way off being a team that's going to be hounding City or every year. We're not there yet. That's how I see it. Now this shit about Sancho. I mean, you know, some people have given up on Sancho at the end of the last season, saying, no, how could we buy a guy for 80 million? You saw him for Dortmund.
Can I just ask a question quickly, just around the panel? How many goals do you think Sancho scored last season, even though he missed 3 months of the season?
7, 8?
I think 6, is it? 6 or something?
I'm talking about in all competitions.
I'm going to say 7 or 8. Go on, boys. Yes.
Mbaye, how many goals do you think he scored? Don't be looking at it. Lesso, how many
Oh,
goals
he's
do you think he
he's
scored?
cheating, man. He's cheating.
No. I think in the league he got about 6. So in all competitions, maybe 10.
He was looking the cheat. He was looking,
It's
man.
10. He scored 10, yeah.
There you go. Right.
Is it 10? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored 10. Right. Yeah, the Sancho thing for me is a bit surreal because it's just like.
No, but can I just say, Nerdy, before you say, I see that as like the pressure of this poisonous club is that they need to offload because they haven't got the money, you know, and the pressure to offload is every day. Who can we get rid of? How can we balance the books when we got no money to work with? So I'm not surprised by that one bit. I'm not surprised, and he's one of the biggest assets we got that's saleable. So I'm not surprised at all, to tell you the truth. And this is the thing about, you know, the knives are out in the back because, you know, we're still walking on very, very tricky ground. You know, we just don't know what's going to happen by the end of this transfer window. We just don't know, you know. And you know, obviously we've been through it many times before that we don't have players that we can sell because the contracts are ridiculous. No one else is going to pay those wages for those players. That means you can't sell these guys. So it's the vicious cycle we're in still, Nerdy. We're still in that vicious cycle. So these kind of stories don't surprise me one bit, and it means that clubs know, and the clubs know that we can't sell our players, so we have to try and look at the prize ones and get rid of 1 or 2 of those. You know, it makes.
Can I ask everyone a question, right?
Yeah.
Would you sell Sancho if it meant it gave us the money to get Harry Kane? I would.
Yes.
I wouldn't even put an eyelid.
Yes. Of course.
Hang on. All right. So listen, you guys say
A 30-year-old. So you're banking on a 30. No, I'd rather go and get somebody who's going to give me 4 or 5 years, 6 years or 7 years.
And who's that, Nerdy? Who's that for 70 million? Who's that 75 million? Who is that?
I would go on. It's up to the scouting team. There must be some decent players out in world football.
You're a better scout than they are.
To me, you know who I would get? If the only money I'm giving Sancho away, I would go and get Nicolas Barella.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this question, right? If
A midfield player who can play, who can defend, who can attack, who's brilliant in possession of the football, that's who I would get.
But why? If we sold Sancho, so this summer we had the money to get Harry Kane, you're getting at least 2 seasons from Harry Kane, 3 seasons. Who's to say that next summer or the summer after you can go for someone like Evan Ferguson?
Yeah, you build on it. You build it. What's the most important?
Listen, Manchester United need 2 strikers anyway. People think we need 1 striker.
So, Mundo, are you saying that this is like a Robin van Persie type signing? Is that what you're saying?
I think that.
Kane would be.
I think that basically.
And I think, you know what? I'll go here again. Just seeing him yesterday as well. I'm not, honestly, last season I stuck up for him, but this season I ain't stucking up for no.
Let me ask you. Let me ask the panel this question.
I stuck up for Anthony last season because he actually showed a bit of heart.
Let me ask the panel the question.
But I'm not convinced by Anthony. Far from it. I'm actually
me too, man. Me too. I'm not.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a lot of question then. Here's a good question that should shed a bit more light on this. Let's
answer. Let him answer. Would he sell Sancho and get Kane?
Yeah, I definitely would, man. I mean, Sancho at this point, we have to cut our losses, before it gets even worse. Because I mean, we've seen this a lot with a lot of players before. We've given them too many chances to the point where their value is you can't salvage their value anymore, and you have to sell them at a ridiculous low amount of money.
Listen, Walida, do you think that's really surprised me that he scored 10 goals last season, even when he missed 3 months of the season? Do you think Manchester United are really super harsh on Sancho? Do you think we judge him? Do you think definitely we judge him more than we judge Anthony? And you think that we should hold Anthony to the same standards?
I think we should. We shouldn't be. If Ten Hag wants to be successful, in the Premier League, he needs to hold, even his own signings to a certain degree. I mean, Pep doesn't. He signed certain players and he has still let them go the following season or there was no such thing where it's like, because I signed him, I'm not gonna let him go. You know what I'm saying? He always remain neutral to whomever he signed. If you're not performing to a certain degree or a certain level, you're out. Because at the end of the day, the manager is the one that takes the full brunt of the whole situation. So, I mean, Ten Hag, like I say, if he wants to be very, very successful at Man United, he needs to be a little bit more harsh, even with his own signings. He needs to tell Anthony, you have to step up this season. This season you have to step up. You had your free season. You have to up your game a little bit because this is high. This is at a higher level, and Man United is a bigger club, so there's high expectations. The fans want to see more from you. So ultimately, I think he should be held to the same the same responsibilities and the same level and level of expectations as Sancho. When you come to a club at that amount, I know it's not his fault. But if you're coming into a club at 90 million, or more, I mean, you have to up your performances. You have to meet somewhat of that price. Even though you're not realistically gonna meet the demands of the transfer fee, but you have to somewhat contribute extensively to in a world-class manner. He needs to grow this season. I mean, for me personally, it's a make or break because if he doesn't kick on this season, people will may turn on Ten Hag and say, that's your signing, so let's see what you're going to do now, because now we've seen how you've handled the other people who weren't your signings. Let's see how you handle your own signings in this particular manner. So that's how managers are judged, unfortunately, nowadays. So you die by the sword. So let's just see how he handles it. But I personally, I think he needs to kick on in the second season, and hopefully he will contribute somewhat, more than he did last season. And That's how I can judge him personally as a Man United fan.
Big up. Jarvis, welcome.
Hey, big
All
up,
the way
everybody.
in the US of A. Where are you? What part of the world? What part of the US are you in?
Well,
And
at
did
the
you watch
moment,
the game yesterday?
well, I didn't get to watch a game because I came right from South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, but we drove all the
Is
way
that
up
what you
to
are in South
Pennsylvania.
Carolina? Wow.
Yeah, but now I'm in Pennsylvania, not far from Pittsburgh. So
Yeah. So look, you've gone a little bit further.
excuse me for my American accent. Been here 2 weeks now with American, so I can't help it. You know, that's just the way it is. So I will do my best. So don't hate me. But
no, nobody hates you, man. What are you talking about? You are our only. Never gonna give you up, mate.
He's an honorary Norwegian. Yeah.
Yeah. So are we talking about Kane or Højlund at the moment?
We're talking about Kane, but because
No, we're
there's
talking about
apparently
Sancho.
breaking news. Apparently, there's breaking news. We're talking about Sancho as well, to be fair. But breaking news that the owner of Spurs has told Levy he's got to sell, or he has to get Kane in a long-term contract. And Manchester United fan, and then Mbaye asked the question, or Mundo asked the question. Would you sell? Sorry, well, you can answer it in a minute. Let Jarvis come in. Mundo asked the question: would you sell Sancho to get a Harry Kane?
Yeah, but just hang on. But just before that, Jarvis, is the fact that United, the what you call the partisan journalists, basically the ones that work for Man United to get the stories, were basically leaking the story that Sancho's for sale. So that's where the whole conversation starts from. Yeah, that was in the Telegraph, etc. today by these what you call partisan Man United journalists.
Yeah.
But that's all in the mix. Yeah.
The latest on Sancho is interesting because Ten Hag is playing him out of position at the moment. He's playing him in the false nine. So why?
Because we've got no striker. Because we have no striker.
Well, is it or because he can play Joe Hugill or whoever as a striker? But, you know, he chooses to play Sancho in that role. He wants his boy, Anthony Dos Santos, to play on the right. And he will try out Pilestri on the right. That's what he's been doing. He's not playing Sancho on that right. So I'm very torn when it comes to Sancho because I'm not sure what Ten Hag is trying to do at the moment. Because if we want him to like get... I don't know, comfortable on the right wing and be a player for the rest of the season, then we should play him on the right because now this is training. It's training, friendlies. That's training. So he should play on the right, and Ten Hag should evaluate him on the right, not as a false nine. So maybe Ten Hag thinks we should sell Sancho. I have like a sneaking suspicion that maybe Sancho is leaving. What do you think, Nuruddin? Is there anything in that?
I think by briefing that, I think his days are numbered at Manchester United. Definitely, I think his days are numbered. Yeah.
But on the Kane thing, yeah, it's very interesting now. But I have this feeling all summer long that Kane is probably going to be sold in the last week of the window. If he goes to Bayern, Man United, PSG, Real Madrid, who knows? But I think we're in for him. I think we will try to sign him.
Haaland.
Højlund, but Harry Kane. I think we will go for Kane, but Højlund, that's a whole different story. I think Højlund wants to come to United. He definitely he's set for United. That's it.
Yeah.
But the problem is the man in Atalanta, the one who worked for Leicester before. I don't know. What's his name again? I can't.
I forgot his name. Yeah. The guy who basically bent us over.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who bent us over, Harry Maguire. He's working for them.
My thing with Højlund now, we have like 3 weeks left before the season begins, and he looks like the only striker options that we are going for. So if we can't, as long as time goes, they can catch us with our pants down, and we.
Well, if you believe the reports.
Yeah,
the bid is going in tomorrow. Bid is going in the next couple of days, if you believe the report.
Yeah, but we know the bids. The bids will always go first bid, and they're not happy, and we have to raise it a little bit, and then the second bid comes in, and then the third bid goes in, and time goes, and suddenly we have 1 week left of the window, and we have no striker. Martial is probably out. what do we do?
I mean, I don't even know what he's injured by this time. Nobody's even asking what injury he's got. The fact that he's still injured from last season is laughable. It's literally laughable. Bumbaye, go ahead. Go and ask your question.
I think the first thing, Anthony should be held up to the same standard as Jadon Sancho. He's had his critics this year, but he's done well and he's done bad. But it's his first season. I've had 2 years of Jadon Sancho. So either this is a make or break. But that leads me on nicely to the next question, which is, would you sell Jadon Sancho in order to get Harry Kane? In my mind, at least, the most pressing thing that this team is in dire need of is goals. That's what it lacks. And that means a striker. There's very few better than a Harry Kane, whether it's for 2 seasons or 3 seasons. That's the simple answer to that question. If he is up for sale, great. Now, he could be up for sale. Maybe you get somebody else in wide. You don't know. And you get your striker. I don't know. I think we will definitely get a centre forward in this window without a doubt. I'm pretty certain of that. I'm not expecting any more in this window than a striker. Now, the fact that he's playing Sancho there, I don't know who else you could put there if Martial's injured. But you're looking at Højlund.
It's usually Rashford. And Rashford did a graveyard shift last night.
Yeah.
Man United can't take possession of the football. He just run around.
We know what Rashford can do up there, but you need another option. It's good to explore it. So he's putting him there. When I'm looking, it seemed like Kane was a certainty. I still think it is there, and it might be Kane, but it seemed that the heat transferred a little bit to not an out-and-out striker, Højlund. I don't see an absolute out-and-out centre forward. I see somebody that can occupy that position, but he can interchange and play. Moani is a bit similar as well in that respect. So putting Sancho there, maybe he's exploring what that looks like, because Sancho is a little bit more in that mold, if you like. But for me, I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. You bring Harry Kane into Man United, you don't just get goals. You get leadership, man. You get pedigree. You look around and you see Harry Kane on your team. Takes you to another level. And Van Persie, that was all that it took. You take Van Persie out, we don't win the league. Very, very simple. Even Fergie will tell you that.
That was a different type of landscape, man. Yeah.
No, what I'm trying to explain to you is, when you get that type of player, Eric Ten Hag doesn't have to really worry now.
I think people are overgassed Harry Kane. If you ask me, I think he's coming way towards his end of his career. I think he doesn't even play your positions that he takes up for Spurs. He's not even in the box that much. He's more playing from the halfway line, and he does the same for England. But yeah, he's a finisher. I give you that. He's a finisher.
He's capable. What I'm saying about Harry Kane is, Harry Kane.
Apparently, let me just tell you this according to reports. Apparently, he wants 30 million a year. He wants to be the highest paid player at any football club.
Well, whether we get him or not, I don't know. You're asking me, would I? 100% I would. Harry Kane, if you want him to drop deep, there's very few that can drop deep and be as effective as him and have the wide guys do more of the penetration and him find them. Fine. You want him to hold the ball up? No problem. He's very underrated technically, Harry Kane. But if you say to him, listen, I don't want you dropping deep looking for the ball. If you want to drop, recycle and go, fine. But I'm not expecting you to drop and then work for Son and find him so he can finish it. Get in the box. We're here to supply you. Great. You'll get even more time. You will get even more years out of him because you know what I mean. It's not as grueling for him. So it depends. But like I say, man, I trust the manager. David De Gea. That's a bold decision he took there, and it's good for a manager to know what he wants and see the opportunity and seize it. I thought Dave would be here another year. He said, no, we're not renewing the contract. We're going to get this guy. So good. A manager that knows what he wants and has a clear vision is a manager worth trusting.
Well, that was 2 reasons, wasn't it? It was 2 reasons. It was one, to reduce the wage bill from De Gea, and it was also to get a new keeper. It was 2 reasons. It wasn't just one. Yeah, am I right about De Gea? Yeah.
I think David De Gea was never going to be on the same money that he was getting anyway. If he wanted to stay at United, it would be for a lot less money.
He was on mega money, and he wanted more money from the contract they were offering him, and they were offering him a lot less. Onana came in at a lot less than even the second contract that thing was being offered. Is this right, Nuruddin?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Onana's no way on the same money as David De Gea.
Even the second contract offer he got, the one that they offered De Gea before Onana was even on the scene, it was still more than what Onana's getting now. Yeah, it was.
I think Onana's on 80k, 80 grand a week.
Yeah. Listen.
Well, that's good. That's good from the club to do that.
Also, we didn't say, like, you know, we talk about Kane. Have we got past the fact that Levy would sell us to Man United? I thought that was the reason it wasn't going to happen anyway. And never mind.
Yeah.
I thought they would.
It's a hypothetical question, isn't it?
But the point is that if Harry Kane was pushed for Manchester United, I can't really see Levy standing in his way because Harry Kane has got all the cards there because it's the last year of his contract. It's not like he's got 3 years. You can demand what player goes. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Listen, let's move on to quickly. And I'll start with Jarvis. Ahmad got injured yesterday. Obviously, apparently, Ten Hag said he wanted to have a look in for the preseason. It looked like a bad injury. He was hopping around on crutches. He's put an Instagram thing out saying, "Alhamdulillah, it's not as bad as it's not as bad as he feared." But that means does that mean it's not as bad as feared? It's going to be out for 2 months, 3 months? Because if he's out for the next 2 weeks, then that's the preseason done, and then he doesn't get the chance. And to me, this reminds me of the midfield player that we sold, Ghana, that we sold to Everton. And I just genuinely do think he doesn't fancy him. So I can see, I already put it out there, and I put it out there to say that I think Ahmad's days are numbered. Big up Andy today for the late one. Big up Andy.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing with Ahmad, you know, he's a little bit unlucky. We played on AstroTurf with a little bit of grass in it. I'm not sure what kind of surface we played on yesterday, but it's not good. And hopefully it's just like a small injury, 2 weeks, hopefully not more than that. But even though the preseason is done for him, I believe, and it's hard for him to fight for a place in the team because on the wings we have a lot of players. We have Pelestri, we have Sancho, we have Rashford, we have Anthony, we have so many players. So this was his moment to shine and to prove for Ten Hag that he is here to stay and fight for a place. I'm not sure if that's now he will get the chance. So for me, okay, maybe we should just give him a loan, give him back to Atalanta as a loan deal, and when we get Højlund or something like that, maybe that will be the right thing to do, because it's very hard to get into this United team with all those good wingers.
Mundo.
Yeah,
100%. Andy, welcome. Obviously, there is a bit of breaking, apparently, news, allegedly. You got to say alleged, because you never know clickbaiters. Too many clickbait journalists these days. Apparently, the owner of Spurs has told Levy that he needs to sell or put him in a long-term contract. And everybody's then getting their knickers in a twist, thinking Manchester United are going to get the magic, this 100 million to go and buy Harry Kane. And then we asked the question, obviously, the club is officially briefing, Andy, that Sancho should be sold. I actually yesterday noticed Sancho try to fight for the first time ever since he's been at Manchester United, fighting to get the ball back. I've never seen him do that. Never. Since he's been, all the time he played. And actually buying fouls and putting his body, all of the things that I was criticizing last season, he's doing it, but the club is briefing to get rid of him. And the question was asked by Mundo, who's just left, was that, would you sell Sancho to get Harry Kane? What are you thinking, Andy? Big up to you, by the way.
In the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, hell yeah, I would sell him. Absolutely, to get Harry Kane. Even throw him in. You know what I mean? Throw him in. 60 million. There's Jadon Sancho. I would. Absolutely. Because he's... I'll take him over Mbappe. I would rather keep a straight dressing room. A dressing room with no egos. Everybody working towards... one cause, no divas, no... Mbappe's fucking like J-Lo. He's a fucking diva, and he just wants everything for himself. That's what Mbappe is. You can't fault his skill, but he's a J-Lo in disguise. With Harry Kane, you got half a chance. You got really half a chance of challenging for some top honours if you get him in. But I would use Jadon Sancho as bait You know what I mean?
Okay.
Clickbait.
I'll stay with you, Andy. I'll stay with you, Andy. What about Ahmad? Ahmad got injured yesterday. Obviously, you were doing a watch along. Big up to you on the Stretford. Had another late ones for you, couple of this week. Graveyard shift. I think we're playing on a Wednesday and then a Thursday. It's some mad hours, like 3 o'clock in the morning. Madly.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Andy. What Ahmad got injured. I think I see another Ghana. I'm gonna call it now. I think he's gonna be gone, sold from Manchester United. Which is a shame because I actually believe he's more talented than Anthony. Technically more gifted than Anthony. That's just me.
No, he's just an injury, mate. It's just one of those things like that. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. He's finished. He's done. Go on, Bennett. Anyone gets an injury, you know what I mean?
But the club and Ten Hag have said this was the opportunity for Ten Hag to look at him. That's the reason why. If the journals were not being briefed to think that they was going to use this time, this pre-season, for the manager to have a clear look at him when he's already got his boy who he bought 80 million for, he's not going to drop his 80 million boy to play Ahmad, is he? And this was a chance for him to think maybe get in the team. And it happened to Ghana. Ghana went on last season pre-season, got injured, and then we never saw him. We saw him the game before we kicked off at Old Trafford. Who we played, Real Vallecano, I think it was, who we played at Old Trafford. And then after that, he was done. Yeah, go ahead.
But if you say this, like his boy's got to start turning it on, and Anthony has got to turn it on this season. And if his boy is not turning it on, are you going to just get rid of Ahmed like that? No, you need competition. Competition for places. Little reminder. This kid he has got talent. You say you've seen the goals last season with Sunderland. He didn't do well at Rangers, but I think Sunderland sort of like give him a new lease on life and playing football. Remember the goal against AC Milan? He has got talent. There was something there for United to go when at Atlanta or when we bought him, and there was something there because he was scoring. He was doing okay. So I want competition for places. If he's fit, we can get him, bring him in. Competition, working, everybody fighting for places. That's what you want. Like you say, you got Garnacho, Sancho one wing. You got Ahmed, you got Anthony on the other. That's what we want. Even Palestra, competition for places. That's what we need, and that's what we want.
People are forgetting we're going to be in the Champions League next season. It's going to be like Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. So we're going to be playing some away games when we're flying back from different parts of Europe. So people forget. People think, no, these days you have a squad. That's why Manchester United needs squad. We need competition for places. But some of the fan base don't think like that. And from what last season, Erik ten Hag doesn't really rate a lot of our players. So especially the ones who are on the bench. That's why we needed 5 players to sign 5 players. But I genuinely do think, Irfan, we need 2 strikers. We need we need a midfielder, a replacement Casemiro, and a centre half. In 3 weeks' time,
Nuruddin, you know we're not going to get 2 strikers. You just know, I will be amazed if we get like another defensive cover for Casemiro. I'll be amazed if we get Amrabat. People keep telling me, but you know me, I don't believe anything about Man United until I see it, until it's in front of my own eyes, because they're crazy motherfuckers, this lot. They're just crazy. So, look, I know we need 2 strikers. Like I said, what I said before about the unpredictability of Sancho and Anthony. They're not. I said it before. I'll say it again. We don't only not score enough goals. We don't create enough chances, and that's the problem we got. So we've got 2 foul chances. So we got problems at the back with a cover for Casemiro, and we've got problems up front because we don't have
a cover for Varane, a real cover for Varane
as well. But look, no, let's be honest, because of the way the craziness of the club. Look, I'll take Lindelof as cover. I'll take him. I know he's not the best, but I'll take him for cover.
He played well yesterday, to be fair. He played well yesterday,
and he's covered quite well because he covered quite well in the end of last season as well.
Yeah, he's played well, to be fair. He's played well.
Look, Nuruddin, these cowboys who are supposed to be football directors, they're not going to get this together because they can say, "Oh, my hands are tied," because the owners have got no money. We've got to sell before we can get any more players bought in, and obviously no one will buy our players because of the crazy wages and crazy contracts are on. So we're still in the vicious Glazer cycle, Nuruddin, not going anywhere. Still headless. So I agree about the strikers, but I'll be happy just to get a proper striker. And with Højlund, you're only buying potential. You're not buying anything else. So there's a big risk attached to it. So I understand what people talk about Kane, because Kane has proved time and time again that he'll score all day long. But the chances of us getting him, I think, are like a 5%, if that. I just can't see it at the moment. I can't see it. I can't see Levy selling to us. And I can't, and the wages as well. I can't see United paying the guy 30 million a year. I just can't see it. So,
but the only thing about Levy, I'll just say that Harry Kane's got all the cards because he's got 1 year left of his contract. By the way, big up Mundo, big up Lesso as well, and big up Bumbaye. Lab led his name's now. He changed his name. Big up to him. Jarvis, I'll go to you quickly on the last one. You didn't watch the game, obviously. I thought the first half
I saw the highlights and I read about it, so I know a little bit about the game. So yeah,
go ahead.
No, before Jarvis says, so you know the pitch yesterday in New Jersey. What was that pitch?
I think it might have been a Astro one.
It's an AstroTurf, but they have sawed in natural grass in it.
So it's an NFL. It's an NFL pitch in it underneath.
That's how it was. Yeah,
natural grass underneath on top of it. So it seeds in. It's like disposable. So it's American Football Stadium stroke MLS in it. Something.
You think that had a sort of effect on the outcome yesterday? Because I was looking at the pitch thinking this is an unusual looking pitch, but I couldn't make head or tail of what it was.
To be fair, the ball wasn't moving properly.
Yeah, it's very strange, and in the NFL, American football, they got a lot of injuries on AstroTurf, and they get ligaments and joints and ankles, and so there's so many injuries. So now they're actually thinking of banning AstroTurf in the NFL. I heard from Americans here. So
crazy Americans, mate.
Yeah. Americans. So, but that's just So about the game yesterday, did you talk about Mainoo and
yeah, we talked about Mainoo. I mean, I don't want to put the kiss of death on him. I said that we've already made videos on this channel. I know his dad, Mike, personally. I call him the Stockport Incy. I coined that last year. Yeah, he's just a brilliant, incredible technique. He's got it all, but like I said, I don't want to put the kiss of death on it by banging on about him too much.
I actually agree when it comes to Mainoo, because I talked about this on the MUFC Realist TV today. We talked about the Mainoo, and I don't want to. We got to remember it's only training. It's friendlies, and it's not the same as in season. We have seen it before. We saw it with Andreas Pereira. He was like the preseason Pirlo. He was so good, but when he came to the first game in the Premier League, he was gone. He was completely invisible. He couldn't be at the level as the same other players. And the Arsenal players we played against yesterday, they are in preseason training. What do you do in preseason training? You run a lot. You're breaking down your body to build it up so you are in shape when the season starts. But it's not the same with the young players, the academy players. This is their chance. So they are in top form at the moment. We got to remember this. So, all of us United fans believe now that Mainoo can be the understudy for Casemiro, but I don't believe that. I think he needs a loan. He plays in a very, very difficult position when you need a lot of experience to understand the role, to play perfectly. Because if you do one mistake centrally,
it can cost the whole team.
He needs a loan. We need Amrabat in. And Mainoo out on the loan. That's my opinion on it. So we got to be careful not hyping him too much.
Brilliant segue. We're talking about Amrabat. We've only got a Fiorentina fan here. We've only got a Fiorentina diehard fan who can tell us all about Amrabat. Talk to me, Lee Edson. How are you, bro? Big up, by the way.
Nothing much. Just
you're disappointed that Manchester United is sniffing for your boy, yeah?
Actually, no, I'm not. Like, I don't mind getting rid of Amrabat because we already replaced him in January.
Okay.
The time when he was supposed to leave for Barcelona.
Okay.
So we were already prepared. So
okay. So tell us about the player. What you watch him week in, week out? People are just remembering from the World Cup.
Yeah.
What is the attributes of the player? What should we be if he came to Manchester United? Do you think he could? Also, you watch United, don't you? You watch Fiorentina.
Watch
United,
both, yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us. What quality can he offer this team?
So think of Declan Rice, but better. That's what Amrabat is. Like he has mistakes in him. Sometimes his mistakes leads to goal. Like, and then like because I remember when he first came to the Serie A, his first season, like him adapting to it, there was a lot of mistakes. Like sometimes he would miss past the ball, sometimes he was short past the ball, sometimes he would just give like an ambulance pass to the goalkeeper and somebody would run in. Like he gave away penalties. Like it's really it's really up to you guys.
Okay.
But
once he's settled in, what other qualities does he show?
Oh, once he's settled in, like he like just like I'm not sure if you saw like the Conference League.
Yeah.
Like he would do that more consistently once he settles in, because like he can break up play. He like his positional sense, he does read it very well from what I've seen. And then like once he understands like the players and what they will do, he could do long balls. And then also too, like he didn't show it in the conference because like our manager told him to sit back. He has one hell of a kick on him. Like he could score goals.
Okay.
So it's so if he goes to you guys, it would be a win. If I'd rather him go to you guys than Liverpool, but can't really stop him, you know.
Yeah,
and then just like what somebody said, because I was watching the live, I was able to jump on earlier. What somebody said was like, would Amrabat want to come in to be a bench player? I don't think so, because like as soon as he came to Fiorentina, he was a starter.
Okay.
So,
but obviously, I mean, we're gonna have to have a squad. We're gonna have to have a rotation because we're gonna be playing in the Champions League next season. So this is why it's gonna be. We need to have about 16, 17 players that rotate. So 1 week they play, 1 week this play. We already see Casemiro gassed out towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
A lot of our players gassed out. We don't want that happening. We don't want to repeat that. So he might not play. He might play some of the Champions League games, some of the cup games. He might not start in the league till he adapts. You know what I mean? Gets in. Yeah. So, but yeah, I do think just the idea of somebody better than McTominay and Fred just excites me. Anybody, you know what I mean? Like, anybody better than those
player two. Anyway, though, like Amrabat will be more like a replacement. It will be more like a backup for Casemiro, or even like an in between.
But our games. But if we go away, Andy will tell you this. Jarvis will tell you. If you go away to Newcastle, we go away to Liverpool. We go to the Etihad. We're gonna have to play. We can't play with open like we did because we know what happened last season. So we might have to play them both together to tighten up that midfield.
Yeah, he'd be good in to be honest with you, I've never really seen him in a double pivot because we don't play double pivot at Fiorentina. We play like a single, and he's a very good at single. So like, I think in the World Cup I think they did do a double pivot.
Maybe we could use him as a high pressing number 8. You know, he's got a lot of energy, hasn't he? So we could use what we usually do with Fred in some of the games, but he's just better than Fred, isn't he? Andy, are you convinced by Amrabat? Did you see him in the World Cup?
I think he said he had a good time with Monaco, didn't he? Morocco. Sorry,
Morocco.
Pardon me. Yeah, Morocco took him to the World Cup semi-final. He played well, and he obviously played the part in Fiorentina getting to the Europa League final. And they were unlucky. They lost in the last minute as well. They could have won that trophy. But I've seen him play. I've seen him. I see Mick Ruber do some DNA with Jarvis, do some diagnostics, strip him down, put him back together, Terminator style. And what you call it? I've seen, definitely looks good. His play, he can pick runners, he can actually boss a midfield, and anything's an improvement over McFred, definitely.
Yeah,
I don't know, like the way you guys like combine Fred and McTominay, like I think Fred is a better player than McTominay. There's like levels between Fred and McTominay. Like combining them is just like, I think it's too harsh on Fred.
By the way, listen, Saeed is in the chat, and Saeed loves Amrabat. By the way, loves Amrabat.
Oh yeah. I talked to Saeed about it. I went on his live show when he was talking about it.
Yeah.
And like, but here's the thing though, like. Our CEO came out and said you guys haven't made a bid. So
we haven't. How much do you think it would cost to get him out of there?
I can only speak in euros. I don't know in pounds.
Yeah, in euros.
They said, I think he said he wanted at least 35 to 40 mil So I don't know how much that's in pounds.
About 30 million.
Mm.
Something
30
like
million,
that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
30
yeah.
million pounds.
35 million's like, let's say 30 million. 30 million's 25 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you that,
Oh.
no problem, to get him. If it makes sense.
Hey, like because I think this weekend, for like if you guys don't make a bid this weekend, 13 said they're gonna put him on the back burner, as in anything Ambat related is gonna wait until the end because there's other stuff that the club wants to do first. So
yeah, it does. It certainly does. Andy, just get your thing. Obviously, you did a watch along. What did you think about the game?
I enjoyed
How
it.
do you think we played in the first half, especially the first half?
Very energetic, very full on. First 10 minutes, I mean, it could have been any score. Arsenal could have scored. Great double save from Tommy and all
Shout
that.
out Tommy Heaton.
Yeah, Anthony, really poor finishing. You know, when Bruno laid it up for him. But yeah, typical good old Arsenal, bottle job FC.
You see the meltdowns?
I've seen the meltdowns, mate. Oh, it's a disgrace. I've seen Ty.
We played it here before.
I've seen Ty. I was laughing my head off, man. You got to have a chuckle when you're staying up late and you didn't get bed till 3 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. And it was good. It said Bruno's goal. Ramsdale, what way? He said you could see why they lost the league. Goalkeeping like that, you know what I mean?
But yeah, Ramsdale's not a good goal.
So we'll stay humble. We will stay humble. It was only a friendly, but you need that. You need that. I say we beat Liverpool last year. Meant nothing. They smashed us 7-0. But it's just nice to keep that winning mentality going. I say even Sancho. Wow, Sancho was like a gazelle. He was running like a gazelle, like it was a lion breathing down his neck.
Yeah.
So he took his goal well. He just hit it and prayed, and it went in.
Top corner, top bins, yeah.
Top bins, yeah. We were well worth our 2-goal lead. And the second half is just about control, and he just changed it around a bit.
Yeah.
Heaton played the full 90 minutes because Onana was, like you say, wasn't there. I think he'll play against Real Madrid.
We'll see.
Rumor had it he flew out late. Yeah.
Listen, I just want to say goodbye. To Jarvis. Jarvis, enjoy your time in the US of A. Pittsburgh.
It's hot. It's hot over here. So
Yeah. I think it's 90 outside now. So
it's really
Listen, we could do that. We could do with that. It's been raining. Andy will tell you, it's not stopped raining from this morning. Last night, early morning.
I'm fed up at this. I'm fed up at this rain.
Fucking summer god, mate.
I can't repeat what I screamed up at the sky, but you know what I mean.
Like you can see outside right now.
I can see the sunshine behind you, man. But Jarvis, big up to you. Thank you for jumping on. We really appreciate you.
Speak to you later, boys.
Enjoy your holiday.
Bye.
Big up to the kids and the missus.
Love the Imperial Star Destroyer, by the way. Above you, the Star Wars.
Cool.
Imperial Star Destroyer. Jeez, I didn't even see that.
That's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big one.
I will send you a picture, Andy.
Yeah, please do. On the
I will.
chat. Yeah, please. Cool.
Big up Jarvis.
Big up
Irfan as well. Yeah, man. Listen, we've been running for late on this one, but yeah, crazy talk about Harry Kane possibly. Apparently, Harry Kane and Leadson and Andy. Apparently, he wants to get paid. He wants to be the highest paid player, 30 million a year.
It makes sense. Like he's English number one.
The next club he goes to.
Oh, I read that before. Seeing that his wife's apparently looking at schools and houses in Germany. So if he goes, he goes. We miss out. Look, he's guaranteed trophies at Bundesliga in it. So
I'll buy Munich. Yeah,
he's not a Bundesliga player though, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are too many on the transitions in it.
Yeah, like
there's too much transitional game.
Yeah, he's like maybe 5 years.
I think he could still come back. He could do 3 or 4 years, and he could still get that Premiership record when he comes back.
He stays he should stay here.
So. No. If he goes to Bayern Munich, he could do 3 or 4 years. Right, I'm coming back. Go wherever you want to go, and he could still get that record.
Weirdo.
It's only 48 goals.
Yeah.
Back to Tottenham, because like who would take Harry Kane in when he's what 34, 36?
Well, you don't know, to be fair. He just wants to break the Shearer record, doesn't he? That's it. He wants that Shearer record. But listen, big up to everybody. Listen, big up to everybody. Love and light. Thank you so much, Liason, for jumping on. Andy, thank you for jumping on. My phone is smashed, so sometimes I can't even bloody see my WhatsApp.
Wow.
I keep missing my page. Yo, it's crazy. I need a new phone. It is what it is. Big up to everybody. Love and light, people. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And we'll see you tomorrow night on the podcast with Saeed. Make sure you check out the Straight Jobcast. We'll be live on Saeed's TV at 5 o'clock. And then we'll be on here, United Real Therapy, on for about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, chatting about what the news, breaking news on Manchester United tomorrow. If Haaland wants to come, if the manager wants Haaland, get Haaland. If the manager wants Harry Kane, the club ain't going to get Harry Kane. But in terms of Harry Kane has got all the power, by the way, because he's only got 1 year left on his contract. And if the owner of the football club is telling Levy, you either sign him up or get rid.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think he wants to come to Manchester United. I think if Harry Kane wants to come to United, he can force that move 100%.
Yeah, but I think he's going to Chelsea.
No, he will never go Chelsea. You don't understand.
I think he's going to Chelsea because of Posh.
No, I promise you, you don't understand. It will be like Sol Campbell going from Spurs to Arsenal. Listen, I don't think you understand the rivalry.
I think he would.
Spurs and Chelsea hate each other like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's never going to Spurs. If
I think he will.
Came to it, he'll come to us all the time. And they tell him what the rivalry is between Spurs and Chelsea.
No, I think he will.
Oh, mate, it's like Tottenham Arsenal, mate.
They hate each other.
Everybody hates each other. West Ham hates Tottenham. It's London, but it's London clubs, mate. They all hate each other for a reason.
I don't understand the West Ham and Chelsea thing, though. I never understood that one. But I think he will go to Chelsea because his best.
But that doesn't matter. But that's what I'm trying to say to you. If he ever wants to live in London and have his kids grow over there, he is going to get so much hatred from the Spurs fans.
Maybe. It's different with Declan Rice has left Arsenal, left West Ham to go to Arsenal. He's not going to get any hatred. He's going to get respect because he's like you say, he's a West Ham legend and he's done it. But Harry Kane, this is something different.
If he goes there and wins the trophy straight away,
that would be funny.
Spurs fans, we'll have to watch Spurs fans, mate. We'll have to get them on Suicide
Harry Kane to Arsenal. That'd be funny.
Apparently, he's an Arsenal.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
I don't think he'll go to Arsenal. Like I think that's the line because I don't think it's any connection.
You never know.
Listen, there's only one player that would want that. That's Sol Campbell, because then Sol Campbell will never be mentioned ever again. Sol Campbell went from Spurs to crazy, and you know what? His brothers, Sol Campbell's brothers, still don't talk to him. They've disowned him. Wow. They're diehard Spurs fans disowned him. Madness, crazy. Bro.
You want to know someone on that level? Figo, when he left Barcelona, went to Real Madrid. They threw pigs' heads on the pitch at him at the new camp.
I don't know, the Namku, yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about.
New camp,
like,
100%.
Yeah, some Fiorentina players went to our rivals, and some fans, they still haven't let them live yet. So
yeah. Your fans are crazy, Fiorentina. When the players don't play well, they go to the car park, smash the cars up.
Smash the car. Yeah, they like. I think at one point it was a friendly. Like, it wasn't a friendly. It was a away game. They didn't play well, and I think the fan smashed the bus. They were hitting the bus where the players were driving away from. So that's I'm like, crazy. Our fans they are wild, but at least our fans are not like French fans. Thank God.
Yo, that's crazy. But listen, thank you for jumping on. Andy, big up to you, bro. A nice one. And then big up to everybody. Love and light, win, lose or draw, glazes out, bankers out. At the end of the day, preseason, not getting giddy, not getting overexcited. Ahmad, we hope he can still come back and show his talent and he gets a chance in this team for Manchester United. And I agree with Andy. If Ten Hag is a warning to you, trust me, Manchester United fans will realise if you're playing your boy and he's thinking out shit next season, because to me, you cannot miss those chances. For me, if you can't score, pass the ball then. Pass the ball to somebody else who can finish. But we'll see. Big up to everybody. Love and light. Peace. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow for the Straight Jacket podcast and then for the Raw Red podcast on here. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Nice one, Andy. Nice one.